Good morning. It is Phoenix Amore. So, all right, today, obviously, later on, I'm getting in the studio. What is on my agenda, clearly, is to get on Keen for a little bit and work and do some of the site for my uncle. But I wanted to take the time this morning to basically address this whole thing with the track, with the summer track and the status of it, and why it was important for me to express things the way I did about how dangerous it's become when you've let too many people manipulate times and whatnot. Now, this video specifically, because I know he's probably watching, I'm going to address my son directly. I want you to remember when I told you before, you have to pay attention to people's agendas. You have been suppressed for many a year by some of these same folks that still want you playing with them or running with him. And you need to come into an awareness about your level. Okay, this is called confidence. This is mom now speaking directly saying, what did I tell you about the one that runs the 800 and always getting first? I said, when they start playing around with times, or when they start taking practice meets times like a joke or lightly. Remember when I was like, these times on these 400s are not right. Now, some people would be like, oh, that mom is tripping. That's not funny, though, because it's not mom, it's coach. Coach is saying, I need to know what times he's running for real. So by the time I'm prepping him for JO, I know what kind of things I have to push him towards. Now, for him, X, listen carefully, when all of a sudden you have some of these teammates hitting you up on Instagram like your mama tripping and blah, blah, blah. No, because you know for so-and-so, you know who I'm talking about, to go from first to sixth at JO. What did I tell you? I said to you, he's going to start needing to move towards that mile because he does not have height on him. And it's going to become harder and harder for him to compete in that 800 and that 400 like he's doing, because this is the age where you have some of these boys start hitting that growth spurt. So it's no different from when X skipped summer track so many years and he came back and he came out running the way he did. He had put some height on. He was still slender because I still kept him in shape, and that was his opportunity to finally get to run that 400. So for X, listen carefully. You remember how 8th grade, when you were frustrated because you're like, I'm getting slower. It's no different here with the summer track thing. When I told you sometimes people are very arrogant, and one of the things I want you to learn at 16 is just because somebody is an Olympian does not mean they're Olympian level coaches. And some of the methods and means to get certain runners different places have to shift according to the runner. So when I say things to you like, hey, for you, what you need is your core is strong. Now you're building here. When I talk about building from the legs up, that's what I'm speaking of. When I said you can't afford to leave football alone, right? Because you started liking basketball. Stay in your mind in that moment, because when you start seeing some of these same people try to convince you otherwise, or convince you your mom is supposedly tripping, what do you see time and time again? She was right. My mother / coach was right in these situations. So you have to continue to trust the person that knows you best as the person X and her son. And guess what? The athlete that she has been able to watch and see develop. So what you're going to have to understand is when you're developing, right? And I've told you this before, when you have these people around you that see you make leaps and bounds the way you do, working with me, that's the thing that you have to understand. Boy or not, male or not, female or not, at the end of the day, you have people seeing you take leaps and bounds when you're working with me. So stay in your path and your decisions. When you said, you know what, I could leave football alone because I like basketball, go there. Make that your new challenge, because you know you thrive on challenge. You know the progress you were making in basketball. So now this is the point where you start ignoring anybody who's hitting you up about football, because you know at the end of the day, half the time it's just about needing you and using you. And then when the opportunity comes, they've crapped on you. Don't get it twisted. These are those same people. So as the discussions were that we had about plans on moving forward, guess what? You know who to trust. Take care.